Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, so we're going to be looking at starting out with the stock, Generac. One of our fans called in a week or so ago talking about it. We had this really nice symmetrical 3-drive to a top pattern right here. And look what's happened. We backed off for one day, and look what happened. Once we broke out above that, folks, that's a failed pattern, and you just got to stand aside. And the market's breaking sharply to the upside. And as you see right here, looming above is the 1.618. That will most probably be another larger ABCD pattern in here. I frankly don't remember what we were talking about with Generac. I happen to own one of the machines, but anyway, look, that takes us to 159. We're at 154 right now, roughly 154. We've been as high as 155 today. So it's got a really strong probability to get up to this level right here, just on the ABCD. But there's a perfect example of a pattern, just absolutely beautiful, and it failed. There's nothing else you could do. And they fail, they fail a lot, folks, but you know what? They work a lot too. The average is around 62% of the time. Let's just, since we're talking about failures, let's look at another one. Remember how we were watching hogs for quite a while? And you'll see here, we'll get this up here. This is the June hogs. And look what happened today in June hogs. You see how it held there for 2 days with, higher closes, and then boom, today, once we went below there, your loss there would have been $200, but this has totally failed now. I mean, it's going to have to take something to reverse it, and there's nothing in the wind. So whenever it goes below, there's your number right here, and already you're down about $300, but you should have been stopped out with a $200 stop with anything else. So that's when they fail. You just shake them off. I know it's not an easy thing to do, but it is after you've done 1,000 of them, or 2,000 or 10,000 like I have. So someone asked me how many trades I've probably done in my lifetime. Folks, it's something I've never actually looked at. Back in the old days at Drexel, between 76 and 82, I had a running total of that because I was managing money professionally, and they kept track of all the trades and stuff. And I was doing about 4 trades a day. But remember, that was at a maximum too. We didn't have this kind of information. All we had was a ticker tape. And also we had Bunko Ramo machine if you had a Bunko Ramo machine. So you didn't get intraday charts. All you had was your daily, and you didn't get those till Saturday morning by special delivery. And then you had to update them by hand each day. I was looking at about 20 different things in the commodity markets at that time. Okay, now let's get the hogs out of the way here, and we'll get Generac out of the way here. I want to talk just a tiny bit about silver and gold. Silver and gold look very bullish, folks. This is where we've been the last 3 days. I said there's a possibility here because of this distribution right here, and it couldn't make a new high. High on Sunday, did not make a new high on Tuesday. We missed it by about a penny, and then a little bit lower high here, a little bit lower high, little lower high here. But let's look at this on an hourly chart, and you'll see that this has a lot of potential, because what we're doing now is just like in that stock chart for Generac, we're coming down into some really, really strong support. So let's just clean this all out. Now remember, we've been here now for just about a week, 5 days. This was the 19th. Here we are, 24th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 days. So we've been here 4 days at this high level right here. Very high level consolidation, just like this one was, folks. Fact is, we should check that. The last time it went into consolidation like this, because we know the market repeats in both time and price. And we have a guest today. Blair Whedon from Time and Trades is going to be talking to us about that very subject because he has studied Gann and astrology, and it's going to be really interesting. Now, the problem is I used the wrong tool to draw with, so let's go. There's our high. There's our high-level consolidation right here, okay? So let's just, I can tell right now we've went way farther. See, we're almost double the amount of time in here, which is okay. But let's just go back and see where that 382s of the last major low we had, which was right back here at 26. So we rallied $6 an ounce. And we have virtually no corrections. Well, it's very small ones. But let's just look at the big 382 from $6 an ounce. And it's going to take us in around 28. You can see here I've got a beeper set up that gets that level. I really want to be watching it because that is really key for me, because I really believe, looking at this long-term weekly in silver, folks, we could be looking at 35 to, God knows what all. If we get above that, we could be back where we were, back on the old monthly charts where we were back in 2011. The chart doesn't even go back far enough to give you the 1980 low high, which was at $54. This one was at $50, and we could easily get to that level again. You can see the 618 on this is another $2 higher. Very strong move, and all we're looking for is a potential pullback to that 382 level, right around that 3050 level. And how much is that? That's down 10% from the high. That's virtually nothing. A 382 percentage, but down 10% in dollar terms. So it still looks pretty good. I don't see anything different. Let's take a quick look here at the gold, because that's also an interesting one to pay attention to. We'll get the hourly chart up on it and then bring it up. I should show you what I was doing there because I didn't want to, just saving time. We made the big ABCD up there. Okay, there's now, see how much difference the silver is to the gold. You see how gold is much easier to see because you got these lower tops coming in here like this. Look what our low today is right here. Look at this. There's an A, B, C, D pattern right there. Spot on. In fact, it has it marked. It's the exact number. And if you look at that, we'll just draw it in. You'll be able to see there's your low from the last move. So if gold's any good, it's going to stop right. So far, it stopped right there. Oh, it's got to draw it in a little bit better. This little tool is so sensitive that you got to just be careful. If there's your ABCD leg right there at 84, it's trading at 96 right now. Very good. Now, this morning I was watching it using the AI program that I use, and you can see here that it's been following along. There was your highs. There is your low, and it says it's going to rally a little bit and come down even more today. Now, remember, the last part of the day, the first part of the day, first 75% of the day is really good. This last part of the day is a little squirrely. It does work a lot of the times, but you got to be careful there because you've already gone through 222 bars when you get to that point, and this is where it can invert and switch around quite a bit. Okay, so that's what we're paying for. Sometimes these AI programs, they are so, I have to show you, they're so incredible that it literally says, oh my God, how can it do that? And I think we'll just get over here and show you the one I was watching today. This was crude oil, and you'll see, look at how perfect can this be, folks. Look, there's your bottom coming in right here. There's your A, B, C, D to the downside. Bada bing, bada boom, and then up, and we should be up a little bit more, and then lower. Hey, we'll take a break. 877-927-6648.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The stock market is a delicate, interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, a few minutes ago, the Treasury bonds just made a 382 retracement here at 117.16. The high has been 117.17, trading at 117.15. It's a 382, the high we made 6 days ago back here off of that level. But I wanted to give you just a little heads up here, folks. We are looking at a bear market that is going to be lasting a very, very long time. This is where we've come down. I want to get over here to, there's the high we were several years ago. I want to get that up and take a look at. This is where they told us about, remember the big deal they had about zero interest rates. That was a big deal. Say we had to move here. There's your AB leg right here. There's your CD leg measured here to 186. It got to 190, then it backed off. And here was the real, I was bearish all through here, but I got super bearish right here because that was a 1 through 5 pattern. Now, folks, I'm even more super bearish because what we've done here in this long-term weekly chart, I don't know how, if we're going to, there's a possibility we could do this, A, B, C, D. But with this goes back to, what's happening in the government, but they are spending money, Ukraine, Israel, Abazagan, whatever those other places are that they use, they give back another $167 billion in student loans, and all they're doing, folks, is creating paper. And what they do is they just issue more bonds. And the bonds, just like it was, when I start trading bonds, folks, they were trading at 56. They're at 117 today. 56, the interest rates were 13%. That was 1980. Okay, and they started trading at about 78 or 79, I believe, is when Treasury bonds became a commodity on the exchange. But this is going to go on for a long time. So there's a tremendous bearishness in the Treasury bonds and Treasury notes because we don't have the money to pay, the debts unless we we write more paper, and that's exactly what we're doing, which should make the U.S. dollar much weaker. But it's like, who's got the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry? And right now, I don't know what it would be. The British pound's probably acting better than anything. But my goodness, maybe it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't know. But the fact that these bonds are doing what they're doing here is really quite amazing. Remember, we had this rally here from October through April. It rallied, and all it did was make a 382 retracement off of that last high that we had right there. See, it was banging right up against it. Look, I mean, to hit that, and then boom, and that led to that's how you get your A, B, C, D pattern down to the bottom. See, that's what you're looking for, is that bottom right there, and there it was, and here's where we are. Now we've gone from November to April, the same distance, and we're still going lower. That's not a good sign, folks. So that's what I'm looking at. I hope that helps, in what we're watching here today. So we'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Okay, we got another ABCD special here for you. Let's get this up here. By the way, those of you that did the trade last night at the 382 retracement on the Dow Jones at 40,023 in the futures. That's it. Now here is the wheat. This is July wheat. We just completed an ABCD pattern over the last several weeks. Right up here, we backed off a very small amount. Remember, we had this pullback here just the other day, just back on the 17th, just 4 or 5 days ago, and away we go. This is a really bullish market, folks. Just looking at this daily, this is really bullish. If you remember, this is when we got really bullish, was down in here because of the ABCDs. There was your 78% pullback, and then look on the way up. I've already done this. I'll do it again because it's so important. There's your first 382 retracement was right here, okay? Your second 382 retracement, because you have to go to the higher level, came in right behind it, right there. It went a little bit below it, almost to the 50%, and now we're going up to that level right here. So no matter what happens to me or whatever, if you see a 382 retracement of these last 4 months, and sometimes it comes very, very quickly, and it could be down a couple bushels, a couple dollars a bushel. We're at 696. The 382 on this comes in right here at 643. That's only 25 cents, taking out these lows. So this is going to be a really important one here at 648 a bushel. I hope these patterns, when you look at them, realize that they don't work all the time, but they work most of the time. And most of the time, they work to the tune of about 60%. That's basically it. Now let's look at another one that we have, which is the corn. Now I did a silly thing yesterday for myself, is I sold my December corn at 82 because I thought for sure it was going to go breaking new lows, because I thought it was going to take this low out, given the fact that it could, and all it's doing is going sideways. It's just still acting very, very bullish. In fact, all of these, here's the level. Okay, we got out of the long up in here. Okay, I said to buy it back at 77, I believe, 77 right in here. We went a tad below it, then we rallied up, and this is doing nothing. So what would be looking at on this second contract here is to watch for the ABCD pattern that will form right about here, which is going to be up about another 5 cents. And that's where you want to do it. Why? Is because look at this. Now, this is over 5 days, but you're still looking at ABCD. Folks, this market is so many times bigger than the gold and silver market, you can't even imagine. So you're looking at 488 here, 489 here. Go back to see what your high was there, and bada bing, bada boom, what do you run into? 489, and that's a 61% retracement, and I probably have to go to the short side on that one, folks, because that will be a ABCD right here. It looks just like Generac, and remember what happened to that one, because once they get above here, like Tonto said to the Lone Ranger, never hachi. That's what is it? He was Chiricahua, and that means will never happen. Anyway, if it gets above that, you don't want to be short. So anything above 490, 491, it's off to the races. You really want to buy it on a pullback. I'm really, I'd like to see this low be taken out by just a little bit so we could buy it a little bit lower on this daily chart because that's when it looks the most best to me. But I am really bullish corn and soybeans and soybean oil. Just, hoping and praying, or not praying okay in trading, but not hoping. You want to be thinking and not hoping. That's the main thing that you want to be paying close attention to. So I certainly hope that helps as we go through this today. Remember, our guest here in another 5 minutes will be Blair Whedon. I met him over the weekend, and he is one smart cookie, and he has an assistant, Margot, who's also very good. They're into astrology like Gann was, and they have some really great grand charts that you'll be able to make sense of. It look very interesting, and that's why I've asked him to be our guest today, and hopefully, if everything works out okay, we'll have him on again. Anyway, that's what we're watching here today. So we're going to have to take a break here to pay a few bills, I believe, here in 53 minutes. So I've got 53 seconds. So I know I'm bringing Apple up, folks. Everybody asks me that all the time. So everybody must own a share of this because everybody asks me about it every day. I don't think anything different happened. We were setting up there. Yeah, so far it went right up to the 78.6. It's a little bit lower today. So it went right up to the 78.6. That's exactly what it did. And look at the light volume going up. Boy, oh boy. What happened to Apple? Hello, operator. 877-927-6648.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I have Blair Wheaton on the line from Canada, Alberta, Canada. How are you? Calgary, isn't it?
That's right, Larry. Yep.
Calgary.
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's right. Great. Thanks for having me today.
Calgary's the cowboy part of. Yeah, there was the cowboy. I've been all over Canada, but I have been to the cowboy section. Hey, tell the folks who you are, what you're doing, and then go into some charts. And I have a strong interest in astrology, and also I looked at Gann for quite a while through the eyes of Jim Twentyman. But tell us about time and trades and the work you're doing and how you got started doing this, because we got I think we're going to be able to have you on a couple more times without any trouble at all. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what your studies have led to, and then we can go into some of the things that you're doing.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Larry. Like everyone here, I'm passionate about markets and have been for as long as I can remember. And but when the pandemic hit, I had some more time on my hands, and I've got some coding ability. So I wanted to put that to use and do something on what I thought was kind of the neglected axis of a stock chart, right? Like everybody analyzes price 8 ways till Sunday, but I felt like the time axis was somewhat the potential wasn't fully used. So that's how I approach this. I'm not an astrologer. I got interested in astrology because it has that ability to project into the future. And that was really the genesis of time trades back in like 2020. And we've been live for like 2-3 years now after about a year of building it. And it consists of a website with some AI capability on it, and also a number of scripts that are add-ons to TradingView. And today I can show both of those things.
Oh, that's great. That's what I'd like to see. Yes, I've seen this before, folks. So it's really interesting. That's why I've asked Blair to join us today.
Alrighty, so let me just find the old share screen button here. There it is, hiding on me. Okay, start sharing. All right, so I want to get started with some of the simplest possible ways to use time trades, and of course we all know you're huge on fibs, and most traders are. So I wanted to start off with my take on Fibonacci levels. So this is a little different. It's what I call magic levels. You can think of these as Fibonacci growth spirals. And I wanted to lead off with NVIDIA because, of course, they've got earnings tonight. So everywhere you see a white line here, that's really a division of a Fibonacci growth spiral. And if you scroll back in time, you can see some real interesting price behavior around this. It just like it's not perfect. It's not to the tick, but it's pretty darn good. You can see the kind of behavior that repeats is when you get an initial bounce on like we can zoom in here, when you get an initial bounce on one of these white levels, it'll often retrace and then move up to the next one, okay? And then over here we can see we made it through that white magic level, but came back for the retrace and retest before it zoomed up to the next one. So a real interesting pattern of price action around these white magic levels. So that's usually where I start explaining one of the things that time trades can do. And then I was building this out, and there's a lot of space in between these magic levels, right? So we wanted to fill those up, and I got a couple options on ways to do that here. So let's go and take a look at the first option, which is Pythagorean levels. So this is like the ratio between musical notes. And Connie Brown, of course, is huge into harmonics. I'm sure many of you know of her. This provides some very good subdivisions within these white magic levels. You can see how the price of NVIDIA has respected these throughout history here. We're here in 2023. One of the other bits of price action around these white magic levels that is super interesting is when you get a strong bar crossing a white magic level here, often it won't come back for a retest. And that's especially true when you get a gap over these magic levels. Like this is earnings about a year ago, and you can see how it just took off. And that's a great example of a wonderful long-term buy. Even though you get this massive gap up, crossing these white magic levels are a big deal. They're a big tell. And you can see how prices continue to move up in NVIDIA, of course. Now, our friend T. West approached me and said, Blair, you should subdivide the magic levels into eighths. And this is what happens when you do that. So just evenly divide the space between the white lines into eighths. And you get some incredible hits here, here, here. It's probably more reliable than the orange Pythagorean levels. You can see this to the tick on March 2024, pretty much to the tick in April 2024. Incredibly good levels here, and that's just the levels part. So that's what I wanted to start with on NVIDIA. So what I want to take a look at next is NQ. So first we're going to apply the same magic levels and eighths just to make sure that it wasn't a fluke on NVIDIA, right? And there's the white magic levels, there's the teal eighths levels, and you can see how important these are, especially up here. The April bull market just paused right at that eighth level, and now we've come back for a retest, and now we're moving on up again, it looks like. Okay. But what I want to show next is some of the timing part, and again back to the theme of applying Fibonacci a little differently, and this is where some of the astro comes in. Now there's a couple ways I can explain this part of the astro. And let me switch over to this guy.
Hey, Blair, before we go into the astro, we've got 48 seconds coming up to our next break. But the one thing I wanted to chime in here, those of you that have ever attempted to look at Gann, that he never used the Fibonacci word, and believe me, he knew what the word was because he was a 33rd degree Mason. And he had studied sacred geometry most of his life, so he hid it from everybody by using eighths and quarters. So 5/8 is 0.628. So we'll be right back with Blair Wheaton of Time and Trades. Just stay with us, folks. 3 minutes, we'll be back with Blair. Hang in.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The stock market is a delicate interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Blair Whedon, and he's talking to us about some of the things that he's working on with technical analysis, including Gann's work. So please continue, Blair.
Great, thanks, Larry. Yeah, so we're looking here at NQ, and I wanted to talk a little bit about another unique way of using fibs. And this is a little bit of astro-based. Now, there's a couple different ways I can explain this. This really relates to the relationship between Venus and Earth. And there's really a Fibonacci relationship in the orbital intervals between Venus and Earth. Venus orbit is 225 days, Earth is 365, and that ratio is about 618. It's actually 0.62. So by decomposing the orbit into 6 intervals and displaying that on a chart, we can see the different speed patterns, right? Because relative to Earth, if the pink ball over here is Venus, Earth is the blue ball, then the periods 6 and 1, 3 and 4 is where the relative speed is slowest. 2 and 5 is where the relative speed is fastest. Or for you NASCAR fans, you can think of intervals 2 and 5 as the straightaways and the other intervals as the corners. So something interesting really happens when you put that on a stock chart. We can go over here to time trades and we can turn on Venus intervals. Now you know what the numbers mean. Remember, 2 and 5 are the straightaways and the others are the corners. What you see is that you get mostly trending markets in intervals 2 and 5. Now, this is actually a really huge discovery because it allows you as a trader to dynamically shift your approach from a trend following approach in a 5 or a 2 to more of maybe if you're an options trader, maybe you would sell more premium in a 6 and 1 or 3 and 4, right? So you can see the change in market character between these intervals. So when I first looked at this, I couldn't believe how significant the difference was in terms of trending markets versus sort of like consolidating markets. I mean, like everything, it doesn't happen all the time, and also there's also a lot of variation between them. But when you see, the big trends, this number 2 trend actually bottomed about 2/3 of the way through this interval 2. So that's the back in June of 2022 in the initial move down. The other thing I noticed is you tend to see a lot of tops in the 5 and 6 and also the 3 and 4 intervals. Sorry, in the 6 and 1 intervals and 3 and 4 intervals. That's where you see tops. You tend to see the trending moves in 5s and 2s because those are the straightaways. And yeah, as we scroll through this, we can see a few more examples of this trend. So that's another little interesting timing edge that I've discovered and included in the time trade scripts that are add-ons to TradingView. So let's look at another example here. We all look at gold, I think, quite a bit now.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the year.
Right. So gold and metals. Not sure how many of you follow the astrology of gold, but it's the planetary ruler of gold is the sun. So that's why I'm going to use a couple of examples here of time trades using the sun. And these labels here, wait a second here for it to redraw, show cycles of the sun moving 360 degrees. Of course, this is relative to the Earth, so really what's happening is the Earth, it's just another calendar year, right? So if we anchor a time trades tool called the ruler to a major high, and then configure that ruler to display a label every 360 degrees, then we get some very interesting patterns on gold, right? So if we anchor it over here, then we can see every year we've got major pivots coming in, right? This was starting on March of 2022. This is March of 2023. March of 2024 looked like a pivot high. We got a little move down, and then it took off again. So you can also apply the same concept, but in a finer grained time frame using 45 degrees of the sun, right? And if any of you traded based on seasonality, you are using Astro. You may not think you're using Astro, but seasonality is really just a general way of using Astro. So if we zoom in here on these 45s that are anchored to this top, so over here we've got this top in August of 2020, and we've configured the script to spit out labels every 45 degrees of the sun, we can see how it is nailing some of these finer grained tops and bottoms. So we'll zoom in and see how the last time this hit in May, it was a low. Before that, in March, it was a low. Before that, in February, it was a high. Before that, we're within about 4 days of a high. So because we had 2 lows in a row here, I'm thinking this next 45 over here on June 20th is going to be a high. So this is an assumption that I'm making, and obviously I have to include price action analysis and good risk management. I can't just blindly make guesses in terms of direction. So this is one of the things that's really important when using these labels is you have to also pay attention to price action. And this is a great example of this 45 degree, and we've got a nice little doji candle at the end of a downtrend, and there's likely an ABCD here, and that's a great example of time and price coming together and kicking off the next move up in gold. All right, so that's another example of time trades. So let me show Bitcoin for a second, because Bitcoin's super interesting, and right now what I'm showing is a different time trade script. It's called planetary lines. We all know Bitcoin can move fast. So what's the fastest planet out there? Well, it's Mercury. So when we take Mercury and convert the position of Mercury to price using this scaling factor, right? So one orbit of Mercury completes in $5,625 of Bitcoin. So that's how I've got this configured.
Hey, Blair, we've got to pay a few bills. We'll come back. We want to finish up with this, and then I also want you to tell the folks how they can reach you. Okay, and we're going to have you on in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for a break, and we got another 3-minute segment coming.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The stock market is a delicate, interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, we're back, folks, speaking with Blair Whedon of Time and Trades. Please talk to us about Bitcoin, and I'm going to tell you to give you a 30-second heads up because I want you to tell us right now how to reach you on your website. Just give us your website, and that's all we really need to know.
Yeah, sure, Larry. Time-trades.com. And
that's simple enough. That's good.
Time-trades.com, 15-day free trial of everything I'm showing there, so you can go and check that out. So, Bitcoin, Mercury. Bitcoin moves fast, so does Mercury. Now, when I first put the Mercury planetary lines on top of Bitcoin, what jumped out at me was, you see these vertical lines here? this is where Mercury completes one orbit, right? So there's 88 days between these vertical lines. What's happening is the angle of Mercury, as seen from the sun, is going. It's wrapping around from 360 degrees back to zero, and then it starts its move again. So if you just focus on the vertical lines and also where the lines cross, right? So the vertical line is from 360 to zero, and where the lines cross is 180 degrees, right? Halfway through its orbit, okay? So look down here. Mercury's making, wrapping around from 360 to zero right at the September low of 25K. And then we go 180 degrees of Mercury, another low. We move to the next 180 degrees of Mercury, high, another 180 degrees, make a high, another 180 degrees, make a high. The pattern of pivots at these points is really incredible. And now, I believe, we're moving into another high around May 31st, June 3rd, when Mercury completes another orbit.
We got to take a break for the end of the day, and we're going to have you on again soon. Stay safe. Time-trades.com.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow on the flip side, and our guest will be Jeff Hughes of Alpha Insight. May God bless.